I'd say my favorite spot, my kitchen. The kitchen, it's funny, it's everything I'd wanted when my kids were young. I love my kitchen and the closet.
Yeah, Baird Brothers could not have done a better job.
Hi everybody, Don Ellison, Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. We're here at Barre, Vermont with Pam and John Benoit. We just finished a house project for them, for Baird Brothers, and coming out to see our doors, our custom trims, and really give them a good experience. And we want to hear really what went into the house and have them try to wrap this up with us. So Pam and John, you know, we started from ground zero with you guys. You know, we have a mutual friend by the name of John DeSerbo who introduced us to you and brought us a set of prints that were pretty large and some nice pictures. And you know, what really put the idea in your head as far as the inspiration for your house? You know, how did everything really come together for you guys?
A lot of Pinterest pictures. Yes. And I worked with an architect in Burlington, Scott and Partners. It was Lynn Wood. She was phenomenal to work with. And my sister Shannon helped a lot. And we'd go through the pictures. I said, Lynn, just things I liked. Different, it may be a big area, but could have been one thing I liked.
So lots of spitballing,
yes,
grabbing pictures, and kind of trying to find a happy medium in between.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. So we were able to take those ideas, basically consolidate them kind of, and find a custom pattern and a style that you were comfortable with.
Yes.
So we started with coming up with some door design ideas, and later after that capturing trim style ideas and trying to find your flow, you know.
Yes.
And you know, you were able to lay some really good ideas on us, you know, and how you wanted your trims to stack. And, you know, I don't think there's anything in this house that's a standard profile. How do you feel like the project started to where we finished up with Baird Brothers? I mean, do you feel like it, you know, we were able to take it from the ground and manage the project through?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the time you guys spent here initially to try to figure out what we wanted and how we were going to do it, that was time well spent.
Tell me a little bit about how you guys came up with the profile selections, like your design ideas, whether you were leaning more on the traditional side or whether you were leaning more towards the modern side, farmhouse side, or, you know, what inspired you to come up with these custom trims?
Well, I would say originally a traditional, Lynn had put ideas on the drawings, but the drawings were only conceptual, you know. And then when you guys came, you and Derek just started putting different pieces together. And yes, I like that one. No, I don't like that one. And it just flowed.
And then you also had a whole bunch of samples so we could visually see right there. You started putting everything together and stacking it up, and this is how it was going to lay out so we could make quick decisions.
Well, we knew that you guys had basic staples too. We knew that there was tunnels, ceiling tunnels. You know, we knew that we had to, you know, that we knew that there was going to be coffer ceiling and multi-layered crowns, and all those things had to really meet in the middle. You know, John, we talked earlier, you know, about the custom levels of lighting in this house. You know, and I asked you, I said, did you have a lighting engineer come in and lay this house out for you? And you just kindly said no. You know, this is our idea. You know, this is what we specialize in Benoit Electric. This is almost like your model house, like a display for you. Like, tell us a little bit about what you've done to the areas, how you've backlit our trims and our tunnels and barrel ceilings.
Yeah, it's lighting's come a long way in the last 5 years with all this LED and color tuning and everything. And I know when Pam and Lynn were discussing how all the trim and the crown was going to lay out, I could, you know, instantly knew I wanted to do some indirect lighting and all that. And then they came up with the whole barrel ceiling concept. I knew I wanted to backlight the barrel ceilings, and
everything really tied together.
Yeah.
You know, the coffers and the barrels and...
Yeah, so that all worked out. And
the multi-stages of crown are all lit.
Yeah, and they're all individually controlled. It's 0 to 10 volt dimming, so you can dim everything, and then it's 0 to 10 volt color tuning, so you can color tune from cool white to warm white, and then, so like I say, things have changed quite a bit, and then there's a new product that's a flexible LED that's in the main barrel ceiling that it almost looks like a piece of fluorescent lighting, you know, it's a continuous, not a bunch of little LED.
It's one continuous light strip.
Yeah, it shines through as one continuous, so you don't see that individual LED light as it goes through, and it's flexible. So we were able to put it into the barrel ceiling, and I thought it was kind of cool to see some direct LED lighting and not just have it hidden and have some indirect.
What do you like looking around your house, Pam, and all this custom work? What do you feel is your favorite part of the house?
I'd say my favorite's probably my kitchen
Yeah.
and my closet. Yeah. The kitchen, it's funny, it's everything I'd wanted when my kids were young.
Yeah.
You know.
And then they
now it's two of us,
Yeah,
and
you're
it's
empty
like
nesters,
I've got the big range, but I love my kitchen and the closet. We don't have a basement, so it's like I didn't want to change summer and winter clothes, so I can keep everything in there. And
Great. How about you, John? What's your favorite part of the house?
The electrical room.
So John has the whole upstairs of this house is basically John's toy box. He has it hollowed and framed, so you could catwalk the whole house and work on each individual lighting component at a remote level. You know, you could come anywhere in this house and move anything you want to move inside the house, not only inside the house, but outside of the house as well. Well, Pam, John, thank you for having us. You know, it's been a long trip. You know, we started back in December of last year. We were here on your job site in February, and here we are. You know, December of 25, back again to wrap this up. And you know, from start to finish, it's been a ride, and we can't thank you enough. You know?
we cannot thank you enough, and we thank John DeSerbo, because if it wasn't for John, we wouldn't have you here, and it wouldn't be what it is.
Right.
Yeah, Baird Brothers could not have done a better job.
Yep, thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate your
And
time.
you're a pleasure to work with.
Yeah.
Just a pleasure.
Yeah, same.